This Sunday. Every Sunday. Side by side at the microphone, from the green light to the speed trap, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino calls them as they sees them, and you better believe them. Here! Relevant news, biased opinions, and outright bullshit regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gas with mechanical trickery never before revealed over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrill to the explosive tension as Chris and Ray cuss each other down the track and barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disaster as they shake hands for the devil. All that and much more this Sunday at high noon on the MotorMouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and live feed, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free. Every Sunday at noon on WHPC. Take the Long Island Expressway to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the sign saying no parking on the expressway and no express service on the parkway. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes pit pass. Sunday!
34 Coupe has a pin coming off the line. She really digs him.
Yeah, my competition coupe has more class than a little deuce coupe. I don't know about the rest of this show, but I'll tell you what. You've tuned into MotorMouth Radio, Long Island's only automotive talk show with your hosts, Ray Guarino. And fresh off the marathon, he's still changing his shorts. I see sneakers flying, water cups flying. He's spitting into something.
That's right.
How you doing, Chris?
Stinky shoes and everything.
Did you have a good time today? I know you've been doing a marathon for many, many years. And
Oh, yeah, I'm like Rob Leonard. I stand there with a sign I hold up a sign that says, "You all are crazy."
at least we say. Yeah. Very good, very good. So we're back again. We're going to have another rousing week of fun and frolic on the show. We'll talk about all sorts of everything automotive. We got a bunch of stuff going on as usual, and we'll get into it a bit. I want to say,
that's right. Talk to me.
A bunch of stuff happened here. This week we celebrate our friends, our foes, things in the hobbies. There's been a passing in the not a life
A
pass.
kidney stone.
No, not a kidney stone.
Passing something else.
It's a piece of history who's passed. Our good friend Gerard and Tom over at Rolling Thunder have closed the doors. The business is now shut. There is no more.
What? No more Rolling Thunder?
They decided it was time. And hey, listen, we're all, as some people would say, we're aging out.
There's no more shameless self-promotion?
Yeah, well, maybe. We're going to try and keep it alive. Don't worry. So we just want to wish the guys and all the mechanics, the guys that are all our friends, the best going into the future in their own endeavors. Hey, listen, you know what? It's time to retire is not a bad thing. It's good to spend some time now with family and do things you want to do. Everybody there deserves it. They work very hard for it. And we thank them for all the years of great service and good radio shows too. Gerard, just come on and I'll get him back in his retirement. We'll get him in and we'll talk about.
Oh, that would be great. We'd love to see him again and match wits and talk back and forth and find out how what's been going on in the business or what's not been going on in the business.
And we can talk about flames and chains and rigid frames, which is a chopper thing. So you could call us to get in on this at 516-572-7440 or text us at.
Yes, you could text us at 203-670-4127. My phone vibrates and it's a nice thing.
Very good. And of course, check us on social media, MotorMouth Radio on Facebook and X, and _MotorMouth Radio on Instagram. And MotorMouth Radio and MotorMouth Video on YouTube, where this show will go up on all of those. Well, it'll go up on the video channels later, and we're on Spreaker. We'll put a link to that, too, if you just want to hear the audio.
And we had a world's record viewing of MotorMouth Radio / MotorMouth Video last week. No, we didn't.
Social media is a funny thing. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. You don't know why. And then, sometimes something won't get a lot of traction for a week, and then, a week or two later, it pops up. So, hey, we'll follow it. We'll see. So, listen, I want to tell you a couple stories, a couple things that happened recently.
Should I light a campfire?
You could.
You could?
Yeah, you could if you want.
Do you have a hot toddy?
No, I haven't had one of those in a long time. I needed to make. This is the time of year. I've always talked about cleaning your car's nose, if you remember. And
Hey, we like in my neighborhood, if you kept your nose clean, you stayed alive.
exactly. So referring to that was actually the air intake that's at the base of your windshield. That little grill thing that people think is maybe for hot dogs. I don't know. Well, that's where the fresh air comes in and goes through the HVAC system.
Yeah, say that without spitting on the microphone.
That doesn't work. On modern cars, that air comes right in and goes into the cabin air filter and then out to your interior. That's how the cabin air filter gets so dirty, because if that's dirty, everything's coming in.
Yeah.
So older cars don't have the cabin air, but it just comes in through the vents. I mean, you open the fresh air vents and get pelted.
Oh yeah, I think I told you that story back in the spring. I opened up the fresh air vents and
Yeah.
got hit with debris, leaves, pine cones, little acorns. They all came flying in. So I get it.
So I recommend to people, when I try to figure what's the least common denominator people are going to do, right? Maybe washing the car. Right. Open the hood, because, well, do people other than me and you wash under the hood and on the couch?
I do. Yeah,
I do. That's the time to get in there and blow off all of that stuff. And when I service a car, especially if it's one of the cars in the family, as soon as I open the hood to do whatever I'm doing, maybe just a brake fluid check, that's all those little leaves. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Yeah. I've done it to cars in the shop. I've actually moved the car out and brought the air blower and just, because there's a forest under there.
Oh, sure. I always got chastised for cleaning around the inside of the door jambs because they all thought that the car came back from a collision shop. What happened?
Right.
The car got hit? No.
I just did that. I washed the FJ the other day in my wife's car, and open those doors and just what you just need to just wipe them down. They wipe them down. If you do them regularly, it's just a matter of maintenance.
It's amazing how much dirt gets collected in there. Yeah.
So anyway, the other thing that I like to do, and this time of year, is windshield wipers. It's like you want to have good wipers in the winter, and I mean you can tell when they're going bad because we have rain all year, obviously.
Or good winters in the wiper. I get it.
Right. So it's a good time to swap out the windshield wipers. And
sure.
I used to go and put snow blades on. They're a little harder to find now, but it's just a regular blade that has like a rubber boot over it.
Right, the little prophylactic that goes over it.
Right, so the ice couldn't get into the ladder style of the blade and freeze it. It happens.
Yes.
Now with the beam style blade, which I favor, which is just like that one little beam thing. That's what it said. They don't. That doesn't happen with them. They don't ice up. Right. So the snow blades are harder to find. So I've done a couple of the cars in the house, and I decided, you know what? Since I was using the Fiat more, it's time to put wipers on the Fiat. I haven't done
what?
Well, the rubber on one of them started to tear, and I said, okay, that's the time.
That's a clue right there.
Well, now the problem is that car has 13-inch wiper blades on it. So now the closest you're going to find is a rear blade, right?
The TR6 had a 13-inch wiper blade.
There you
go. That's why I'm laughing. I had to order them online.
Yep. Well,
that's hysterical.
Well, I'll tell you what. Go to neighbor's auto Barry shop, and he has a display of specifically rear wiper blades that are predominantly 14 and maybe 15-inch.
Rear ones for the rear hatch.
Rears. So that's getting close. And I know on my daughter's RAV4, I couldn't find hers in 14, so I bought a 15. I took it apart and I cut it down and I made it fit. So with the 13, now my FJ has, what is it, 2 14s and a 15 or 2 13? That has 3 blades.
3 blades.
So the windshield is short. So the short ones are hard to find. So I wasn't finding what I wanted when I searched, but what popped up from Amazon was windshield wiper blade replacements. So it was just a silicone rubber replacement that was probably about, I don't know, 20-something inches. And there were 2 of them in a pack, rolled up. I said, you know what? $8. I said, send them.
Can't go wrong. Give it a shot.
So I pull the wiper off the car. Now, the hardest part of this job was removing the old rubber from the original blade because there's little claws that click in to hold it from sliding. All you have to do is just widen them with a pair of side cutters.
But they're plastic.
No, the clips on the ones I have are metal.
Oh, they're metal. Okay.
I think it's an Anko refill. So, and then you take the blade and you cut it to size, use it as a template. But there's two little metal strips that run inside that blade to stiffen it. You have to transfer those over, and then you slide it back in the thing. You crimp those little things again. Well, the blades came out fine. They work beautiful.
Nice.
So I saved that rubber. I'm going to buy more. I'm going to start making my blades for everything because it's like a high silicon rubber, which is very soft and wipes very, very cleanly. So I did the rear wiper on the FJ. Same thing. That's got a very short, I don't know, 12 or 13. I made one for that. Beautiful. I think I'm going to start making my own wiper blades from now on.
Wow.
If you buy a refill, in an 18, 19, or got to up to 24 inches, those things, they start at $20 and they go up. Sometimes
they do.
$40 it could be for a wiper refill.
They do. You're absolutely right.
And I think that's another reason people don't change them, because if you you look in the store, like, I ain't going to spend that much. And if a guy in the shop tells you, hey, you need wiper blades, now they think they're being upsold because they're so expensive. No, they are expensive.
They are. I always, whenever I get the chance, I take a paper towel, I put a little Dawn dishwashing detergent on it, I get it moist, and then I go out there and I just wipe down the wiper blades, usually on a rainy day. I'll wipe them down. And it's amazing how you can keep the blade somewhat effective.
Oh, without a doubt. Keep
at that point to keep it. And I've been doing that literally with the same set of blades on both of the regular cars for the past couple of years.
You got to keep the schmutz off. Well, let's go to the phones and the fun and say, hi, caller. You're on with the MotorMouths.
Hey, Ray. Hey, Chris. How are you?
Hey, John.
Hiya, John.
How we doing today? How was the marathon run?
Yeah, I see that you had sent a text at 203-670-4127. You said the only way I run is if I'm being chased by someone who is mad and way bigger than me.
Waving a stick.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth? No, Ray, I was laughing. Last, I guess it was in the spring, one of the wipers on my vet was tired. And yeah, it's like $40 to get two blades.
Oh, wow.
But where it gets complicated, some of them have the air spoiler, I don't know what it's called.
It's a wind deflector, yeah.
Which holds the blade to the windshield.
That's only over, but that's only over 120 miles an hour, John.
Yeah, well, occasionally it gets there. But I'm like,
John, you're just fortunate no one's listening right now.
Right.
Yeah. But, I actually found Napa sold refills.
Okay.
And I found that, of course, after I went and bought the gazillion-dollar blades before I scraped up the windshield.
Right.
But, I've got the OEM, arms with new blades in them. So, yeah, whoever buys the car after I pass will get factory new, because the rubber doesn't go bad when it's not in the sun.
Yeah, you know what? And that's why my Fiat lasted so long, because having that car always in a storage garage, it really it kept them out of the sun and kept them in the I was in a garage. So, but that does help a lot. But normal cars that are outside and get driven a lot, the UV just really it beats it up. So good maintenance. Clean the nose of your car. Get that air vent clean. Do the cabin air filter. It's important.
Yeah,
I don't have to do it. Sometimes I can get 2 years, 2.5, maybe 3, because we're not in a really we don't have a lot of trees.
You took them all down.
I did. Yes, I did. I made my block very Italian. We did do, we do get some pollen, but I check them all the time. I check the air cleaner of the car. Take the air filter and hold it up to the light. If you can see through it, you're good. Yeah. So I don't have to do it as often as other people might have to, but it is worth checking. And some of the cabin air filters are very hard. They're very tricky. Some are a piece of cake. So you gotta investigate.
And the other thing that was haunting me in the back of my mind, which you always remind people of, check your tire pressure.
Exactly. Tire pressure.
Oh, yeah. Especially with the weather getting colder.
I just did mine yesterday, and I was like, oh, my God, they're all low.
Yeah. Well, now with tire pressure monitoring systems, you can check it from your dash. My wife's Cruise shows me pictorially which tires are which. So it's kind of easy these days, but people still probably don't pay attention to it. I see low tires all the time. We'll come out of the store and I'll tell my wife, yep, right front, that's low. And she's like, yeah, only you. I'm like, no, not only me. The tire guys know too, because they spot it. Like, he'll be in next week.
No, I still go old school. I got a really good digital pressure gauge that goes into tenths. But,
oh, wow. Well, John, that's what we'll wrap this segment by saying that's what I've always said. I have a nice dial gauge, which I like, an analog dial. The digital gauges, if you were to set your pressure at, say, 32, and you put air in the tire, and you bring it to 32 on the gauge, are you at 32.0? You're just like right at 0001, or are you up to 32.9? It doesn't show you the tenths. So you could be almost at 33, which, and at the end of the day, the extra pound isn't really going to make a big game changer. I'm just saying, for splitting hairs, the analog gauge wins, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
no doubt on that, but it's a nice digital gauge. I've had it for about a year and a half. I found it, that guy at Project Farm.
Okay. Yeah, but the fact that it reads tenths is good because it is showing you. I have one too. I have one that I bought off the Snap-on truck. It's a Blue Point. Matco sells one too. They have the same gauge. Everybody sells the same, digital gauge, and that shows you in tenths. And it's the nice thing about those gauges is, if you have the airline on it, there's a paddle on the back that you can take pressure out of the tire if you overpressure it.
That's cool.
Yeah, the one I have, you push the release button in halfway, and it'll,
right.
deflate it a little.
Right.
But
very good.
Yeah, it's that time of year, unfortunately.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
But it is a good top-down day.
Yeah, I was going to take the fee out, but you know what? I actually bought a nice car cover for it because now it's outside, and I wanted to cover it with all the rain we had, and I just didn't feel like uncovering it today. So, yeah, otherwise you're right, it is.
I feel your pain on that because this time, from the spring till I store the vet in the winter, it's under a waterproof cover in the driveway.
Yep.
But, some days you're like, I got to run to wherever, and now I got to uncover the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had people tell me, oh, yeah, I wish I had your problems. Like, really? All right. I got you. All right, John.
I wish I had a 20-car garage.
Right. Well, I've said this, and being in the process of trying to relocate at some point, I've always told my wife, my friends, I said, I just want to die and be able to say I was able to take any one of my vehicles out at any given time without moving another one. That's all I want to do. And then I'm happy. Then I'll be okay.
Yep.
I hear you on that.
Yeah.
But
So
anyhow.
All right, John. Thanks for the call.
Thanks, John.
You got it.
All right.
Guys, enjoy the day, and good luck to all the marathon runners.
You got it, John. Talk to you later.
Be safe.
All right,
all right, bye-bye. You can be like John and call us at 516-572-7440 and get in on the fun. So, yeah, what?
Yeah, I was just going to say, when I was, just to build on what John was saying, or what you were saying, when I was in Brooklyn, I had to, in order to get the TR6 out of the garage, I had to move at least 3 cars, find spots for 3 cars on the block, or double park them, get the TR6 out, put it in the big driveway, out from the little driveway, drive around the other side of the house, put it in the big driveway, then move all the cars back.
Right.
In order to take the TR6. And that was a pain in the butt. Now, in order to take the Chrysler out, all I have to do is just move 1 car.
Nice.
And I'm still not taking that car. I'm like, I got to move the wife's car. It's like, I'll take the other one.
I have the same thing. My wife's car's in the front. I have my Impala in front of the garage. I have to clear them out. But what I did yesterday is, on the way back from Kevin and I and Mike and Rick and Cliff, we all went to a Cars and Coffee event for the Corvette Society again. You can see the pictures on our social media.
They look good.
As I told you earlier. And on the way home, Kevin's car was at my house, so I was driving in. Now, I had a little bit of a mishap in my car. This always happens.
What?
New parts. I had put that, that new I Did It steering tilt column in the car, which is great.
It's good.
It works phenomenal. Well, getting closer to the house, I had put the directional on, and then the left directional, but the directional level kind of fell. And actually the horn blew. I'm like, what?
Oh,
so
no.
It loose. What I thought happened, and I swore to it, and I was wrong. inside on the canceling cam, it's a plastic channel that the lever slides into and a screw goes in. I thought the plastic broke because I could move it up to the right position. It was okay. But when I moved it down, it just flopped. I said, I'm not going to take this whole steering column, the wheel apart and all. I'm going to have to call them. So it's an I did it column, but I bought it through Summit. And who can I get the part from? Are they going to say I had it too long? Well, long story short, I took it apart. And what happened was, I guess it was kind of my error, I guess. I did it, gave me with the column a tilt lever, a directional lever, and the four-way flasher lever. But their levers were kind of hokey, I thought. It was a round chrome stalk with a black plastic knob on it. Now, the Pontiac levers from my year are metal. I don't think they're chrome. Yeah, they may be like lightly chromed, but they have come to a nice tapered end.
It's funny because looking at the pictures, I noticed the lever and I went, that's a GM lever.
Yeah.
In that car. And I remember those from, GM's been producing that lever for the tilt since like, I think the late 50s.
Right.
So it's really a classic looking lever and it really made the column look cool.
So I had bought the tilt lever in anticipation, and I used the directional lever off my other column. Well, that was the problem. When I used the screw that they gave me, I guess it didn't really grab it right, and now it loosened enough. So now here I am with the whole thing apart saying, okay, now what am I going to do? And I took that lever. I found a better screw, I think it was a 632 screw that would go in. But I looked at the lever. I said, I compared it to the I Did It lever. And the I Did It lever, at that part, it's flat with it goes into the channel and the screw goes through. The I Did It lever fit better into that mechanism and it was a little thinner. So I put the I Did It lever on. I said, all right, you know what? If that's what it means. So I'm thinking now already getting some time on a lathe and because you can unscrew the black plastic doohickey. I'll make like a tapered bullet end and screw it on and it'll kind of look like the original. So we worked on Kevin's car yesterday. When I came home, I said, you know what? I'm going to get right into this. I'm going to just like take it apart and fix it. But when I dropped my car off, Kevin went to his house and I said, okay, listen, I'll come up to you because I'm going to help you do some work on your car in a few minutes. And I put the Pontiac back in the garage and I had the Impala in the street. And we were talking about this, the car that gets no mileage. And I said, you know what? Before I took the Impala. I took it up to his house. And he looked at me, he says, oh, you took the one out that doesn't get used. I said, yeah. He goes, oh, you're going to put it away anyway. I said, right, I got to put it away anyway. I'm out. I might as well drive it. So got a little bit of use yesterday. And it was funny because when I talk about guys' cars and I always say, my car is built more like a road race car now. It's, the suspension is stiff. It handles very positively. I drive like, Eddie's 442 or Mike Chevelle, Rick's Corvette, Kevin's GTO especially. And those cars just have that GM float to them. Yeah. They're so comfortable. And I say, wow, this would be nice to have the car that, you just cruise and you float. I mean, it's not going to handle a turn as well as mine will, but my car doesn't float. It's just like, it's on a mission and it goes on that mission.
I was going to say, I have a pool table in the garage that does exactly what you say.
Right.
It just floats.
So I realized last week, one day, I took the Impala out. I took it over to the shop. And as I'm driving that car, I'm saying, wow, this car floats. The Impala has the GM float. I'm like, I do have a car that floats. I was going to go buy a 68 to 72 A body. I wanted to buy like a Buick or an Oldsmobile, Right. And I said, well, I do have one that floats. Look, I just got to use it. So we get spoiled by our own...
what you have, when you rediscover
what
you already own. That's hysterical. But so, I get no, it was just to change the subject for a second. I have a question.
Okay.
It's a color question for you.
All right.
With the Camry has hubcaps that are like their faux wheel hubcaps.
I know the ones you mean.
The ones, so they have a black standard steel black rim behind them.
Right.
Well, because the hubcaps, the paint that's on that steel rim tends to, what would you say, decompose?
Rust.
It starts to rust and it looks awful.
Sure.
So what I did was I pulled the caps and I sanded down the rim. And now my question to you, young man, is what color black should that rim be painted? Should it be painted in a flat Should it be painted in a satin or should it be painted in a gloss?
All right. Well, I think that's definitely a question of user preference. How much of it are you going to see through the hubcap?
You see quite a bit of it.
Okay.
Quite a bit of it through the hubcap.
I did years ago on the Mazda that I'm driving, the Protege, the beater. I took the aluminum wheels off because they just kept leaking. They were leaching air through the rims. And I went to Freeport Auto Wrecking and I bought 4 steel black wheels. I threw them in my blast cabinet, cleaned them up, and I painted them with a semi-gloss black.
You did a semi, okay.
Because you know what? Because I use this paint that's, I'll tell you, I'll post a picture of it. It is the best paint I've ever found for anything like that. And I painted, half my car is painted with this stuff.
Okay.
And it's a what do you call it? It's a acrylic enamel. It's VHT. That's who makes it.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
It's a VHT epoxy paint.
Yes, I have that paint. Yes.
Okay. So that stuff.
Just recently ran out of that.
Right. And it got expensive.
Good stuff.
It got expensive now.
Yeah.
So when you spray that, even at arm's length, your other arm, the hair on your other arm goes, it just, because it's an epoxy paint.
I'm just in shock that you have a picture of it and you were able to find that picture right on your phone, right then and there. This has not been produced, people. Watching this on YouTube,
okay,
you will see the dynamics of Ray's
I go through this
information and how he has it at his fingertips.
I go through this all the time with people. This to me is, I use it as a phone occasionally. It's a computer.
Yeah, totally.
And I treat it like my computer. So in my gallery folder, I probably have 30 or 40 folders specific. So that was under the chemical and paint or whatever, the chemical folder. So that's why I have pictures of oils and the additives and paints, so I can find it pretty easily. Because you go with someone else and they're looking for a picture and they're scrolling.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Like,
I'm so guilty of that.
I said, how many years back was that? I don't know. And you scroll. Talk about the death scroll. It's like, make a folder, I wish the only thing that the phone won't do is you can't make subfolders of folders, because I really need that.
Oh,
I got to make a new folder, which adds to your list. So when I want to go down to my screenshots folder or my, something I have like that starts with a T, I have to scroll like 4 times because it's way at the bottom. So yeah, that's why I can find stuff easier.
Amazing.
So I would go with the semi-gloss, and I like the VHT. The Mazda wheels by now should be redone. I noticed they are starting to come through a little, but I did do them 15 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Well, I just did these. I actually had a laugh because I was not sure. So I did a satin on one side and I did a flat on the other side.
Okay.
And I have to admit, the car looked a lot better with the hubcaps off. It really did.
See, I did that and I just put chrome lugs on it.
Yeah, it looks a lot better with the hubcaps off the car. But I found what?
Not for resale though.
No, but it does have a kind of sinister look with it.
Yeah,
that way.
Oh,
sans hubcaps.
Well, when I had my blue Mazda and I put the snow tires on for the winter, it had black rims.
Right, it looked good.
Called it the Yakuza mobile at one point. Yeah,
should be hauling moonshine in it.
Yeah, right.
But what I did was I did the satin on one side, the flat on the other, and I just looked. What looks better? What looks better? And I came to the realization that the satin, which is a shade away from a semi-gloss, looked better than the flat.
Right.
I really thought the flat was going to look better, but I was wrong. It was the satin. So I did all 4 of them, and I used the what is it? The Rust-Oleum it's called 2X.
Okay, haven't used
that. And it worked very well. So that's going to be the hubcaps have been cleaned. Huh?
Vince thinks the satin would be right, but again, I think it's owner preference. It's whatever you like. Yeah. And it's behind the hubcap, so whatever. Yeah, but anything is going to be better than the rust.
Right. It looked terrible. It really did. It really took away from the car. So, and it's just, and this is what I always talk about. Take care of the little things. If you take care of all the little things, the car, it jumps out at you. It looks so much better. I literally sat down it was a sunny day. I sat down in front of the grill and the bottom portion of the car. I took the license plate off. I put it aside and I just did the whole front of the car. I just cleaned out all the little cracks and crevices and took care of all the small little paint chips with some touch-up paint, and just went along it. And it was just a nice, decent afternoon. Had a cup of coffee there, and I just was going along. Nothing, all, how can I say, all things that really didn't mean much, but all together, when you got up and looked at it, went, wow, this is so much better.
After the summer, I did it to the FJ and I did it to the Cruise because they sit outside. I had a half a gallon of gin with me, but a little nylon brush and all of the emblems on the car, they always get, the pollen gets in there and all.
Yeah.
Crease on the side of the body. You just take that brush when the car is soapy, or I use some simple green, and just run it down the crease, run it inside, and then when you rinse it, that schmutz falls all off. Makes a world of difference.
It really does.
Also, makes a world of difference is the bottom of the hour, which we're at. So
already I was having so much fun.
Yes, and I have to say that our WHPC weather forecast, as I look out the WHPC weather window, is powered by Does Bagels, great store with locations in Garden City Park, Freeport, and now open in East Meadow. That's the one I went to the other day. Today's weather is nice. It's sunny with a few clouds, high of 59. John's right. It's a top-down day if you're a man about driving a convertible. And
he's going to wear something flimsy, I know.
I think he will. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low in the 40s, 46. Tomorrow is going to be cloudy with an occasional light rain in the afternoon, high of 59. And tomorrow night, clearing with a light shower in the evenings in the 40s. So we have a contest here that I need to tell you about. You can win a $100 gift card to one of my top 3 favorite Italian restaurants, Uncle Baccala's Italian Seafood and More.
When you walk in, do they go, Norm?
No, they don't.
Norm walked in.
They don't read it much better than me, but they do know me a little bit. So you can do that just for downloading and using the free WHPC app, which will let you listen to HPC anytime, anywhere, and register to win this $100 gift card. So Uncle Baccala's Italian Seafood and More is located at 23-70 Jericho Turnpike in Garden City Park. I recommend you go there because I love the place. And the WHPC app, where's that located? Well, it's in the Google Play or the Apple App Store. Good luck from the voice of Nassau Community College and the free WHPC app. So, I alluded to the other day, I went with, when Kevin came with me to the Cars and Coffee, he didn't have his car because last week he had a breached water issue and he had to get flatbedded home. So Cliff had mentioned, boy, that'd be a great honor group of the hour for guys who had to get towed home from a car show. Kevin was on his way to a show. Right. And I said, boy, that'd be great. I said, one day I'm going to have to mention that to Chris. And I just all week I didn't call you or text you to even mention it. So now I have to ask you though, what is the honor group of the hour for this week?
Oh my gosh, Ray, great minds think alike, because this week, thanks to Cliff, the MotorMouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour, those daring individuals that need to get their classic car or hot rod towed home from the car show.
No, come on.
Yes, you polished it, you showed it off, and when it was time to leave, well, the car had other plans. We salute you for the courage to pop that hood and pretend everything was fine. Those brave car guys who rolled into the show under their own power and left on a flatbed. Your patience, persistence, and AAA membership are admirable. To those who put their hearts and wrenches into their machines only to hear the dreaded click when it was time to go home, always remember your passion never stalls, even when your car does. So stay true to your craft and know full well that those that up and get towed away know that they can return for a shot at a trophy another day. So if you are one of those weekend warriors that needed to be escorted home on the back of a flatbed at the end of a car show because of a breakdown, then you are part of the MotorMouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour. And also, just to drop this in, John has texted us at 203-670-4127 and said that he's thinking of wearing a thong and a wide wife beater t-shirt for the top down ride.
Yeah, tell them to put the tinted windows up. We don't need to see that. So I think that's.
I had to throw that in.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
I think you hit on a tagline for a T-shirt. Your car. What was it? Your car stalls, but what was that? That sentence? I like that.
Yeah. Always remember your passion never stalls, even when your car does.
Well, Kevin had a water issue, but we fixed it yesterday. His car runs. He's back on the line. Let me tell you something. This is the last week I can tell you about this show. The Liars Club
Yes.
Don't forget about these guys. That's the Long Island Auto Replica Society. I'll be going to this show. It's next weekend at the Freeport Rec Center. It's November 8th. That's Saturday, right? Today's the 2nd. Yes, that's next Saturday. That's at 130 East Merrick Road in Freeport. It's 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with the awards ceremony at 3. And you will see some models. I sent Cliff some pictures this week about this because he wanted me to remind him.
Are they cute? Are they tall?
No, they're model. They're model cars.
Model cars.
But the paintwork rivals that of like SoCal Customs. I mean, guys are doing lace jobs. I've posted this in the past. I'll post again next week, so I'll talk about it on Sunday.
And they are nice.
It's only $5 to get in. So, and you can see some really cool, and you'll see Jeff, and you see my friend Jeff and some other guys who are real great guys, and they do a fantastic job.
Tell them we said hello.
Yeah, I will. Next Saturday at the Freeport Rec Center. So now we'll take our break, bottom of the hour. When we come back, I want to talk about a couple of carburetor issues that happened this week.
Ooh.
It was carb week in my world. So,
all righty. That's why you smell the gasoline. I can smell it from here.
You like that? Good.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll be back with more MotorMouth Radio in about a minute or so with Ray and Chris. Keep it where you got it on 90.3 WHPC.
My name is Carl Anthony with Automoblog and AutoVision News, and you're listening to Ray and Chris on MotorMouth Radio, WHPC 90.3 FM.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Limerick and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar lifetime nationwide warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More information is available at 516-593-0920 or online at celebritychasecollision.com.
You're listening to the MotorMouth.
Hey, Ray and Chris.
Did you guys read my mind?
Okay, I appreciate you having me on.
Wow, you guys finally figured it out. MotorMouth. This is great. No more foolishness.
I miss my puzzles.
You're a funny guy.
I've been waiting for Sunday just to ask you guys this question.
Our trained staff of 2 will help.
Well, good afternoon, guys. I need a little advice.
All right, so you got me to call in. All right.
I don't know everything. You know, you guys are mechanics. You guys have a great show. Thank you very much. I come with a tale of woe and a warning for the younger guys.
Chris is doing jumping jacks. He's getting ready. Ray is right behind me.
Every time I get off the air, I think,
MotorMouth.
Oh, boy, they're never going to ask me back after that one.
Yeah, this is a collect call. How are you?
Quite frankly, there are better things to do with your time.
Oh, I probably called the wrong number. I was trying to get a hold of Ray.
And I wake up screaming.
So I'm very happy to listen to your good advice.
Yeah, I want to know what the is wrong with my car.
You know, break it down for us call guys. All right, see you next weekend.
MotorMouth.
I know you guys usually speak Guido,
right,
and now you're talking Pintel and Yiddish, and this morning I happened to listen to the rabbi on your station. So it's all, you know, I guess today's Yiddish then.
Right.
There are answers, sometimes correct ones, and we may have them.
MotorMouth Radio, 90.3 FM, WHPC.
MotorMouth.
Hey, you, get over here. Every Sunday, 12 to 1, you are going to tune in to hear the MotorMouths, my friends Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. 90.3 FM, WHPC. You might learn something.
Let me pretend.
Yeah, let me pretend I know how to do a radio show. Let's we'll start right now. Why not? It's what the heck? It's half the hour. We're done. MotorMouth Radio. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, right.
So this was carb week for me. I had 3 carburetors.
Wow.
I talked about them. I had the one for the 65 Vet. That one's going back to the original AFB. That's going back to Florida.
Okay.
The 2-barrel that I did a while ago for Barry over at Neighbors came back.
Okay. Came back. Like what? It didn't work? It came back? Or what do you mean it came back?
I got a call from Barry and he said, the carburetor looks great, but that was the one where they sent the wrong kit. The gaskets were for the larger 2-barrel.
Oh, right,
so I used the original gaskets. But Barry said as they would drive it, you hit the gas, I had a flat spot. He goes, it's like a bad accelerator pump. I'm like, wow, it was new. And, I should have been prepared for this, but I wasn't. So I will show you now. In the words of the inimitable Joe D.
Guys, we all know what new spells never, ever work. That's right.
Joe was so right. And even friends of mine say that now because they know that that's so true.
Right.
So,
it's the truth.
It never, ever worked. So I said, okay, listen, I can't argue. I mean, cars, as good or better than me. And if you say it's doing it, it's doing it. So let me take a look. I said, but you know what? Why don't you get another kit? And I gave him the correct kit numbers. So he did. I picked it up and I swapped out the part. And I want to show you what I found inside that carburetor. As soon as
this is a carburetor you just rebuilt.
Yes. As soon as I took the top of the carburetor off,
that's an accelerator pump that is broken.
See that little window missing?
Yeah, it's the skirt.
Under my other finger is the piece.
Yeah, the skirt around the accelerator pump, which is basically what it does.
Moves the fuel.
It moves the fuel. You got a big chunk missing from it.
And I don't know how that happened. And Barry said, oh, well, maybe it came out. I said, no, there's a well inside the carburetor that pump sits into. Right. As soon as you put it together, it's sunk in the well. It can't come out. But that piece was up in a little section of the carburetor above there. So I don't know. It's a mystery. Put the new one in. I tested it. I put some carb cleaner in there and I worked it and it squirted. So that was number one. We took care of that. Then on Eddie's, the 442, that came in not this past Saturday, the Saturday before. I didn't get to talk about it last week. He wanted to change the carburetor on that car. I had built him a Holly, and now he changed the rear end gears, and he wanted...
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, he wanted a better carb, so I recommended...
And you got a Holly? Oh, sorry to hear that.
Because the fellow Rick, who's the 65 Corvette carburetor I just did, he's the guy that has the Roadrunner I worked on, and he also has the Cobra that I did a carburetor for. And the Cobra was a Holly Street Avenger. And I was so impressed with the carburetor, the build quality. And I looked it up online and I saw what they do. They build these things, in mass, but those get pulled off and go to a separate line where they're hand fitted with parts and components.
Oh, wow.
They're more money, but they are actually hand fitted on the line and tested and wet flowed. So I recommended, I said, you want to stick with a Holly, go with one of these Street Avengers. It cost them about 8 beans.
Ooh.
They're not cheap.
That's a number.
Put that on the car and had to do a little fiddling with the fuel line and the gaskets. But once that was taken care of, that car fired and ran just like a champ. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So that was phenomenal. And now another fellow, I worked on this guy's carburetor over the summer. A guy out of Bayside, this guy Lou, he came to me through Joe D, because Lou knows Junkyard Dog. And Junkyard Dog, of course, knows Joe.
Okay.
So Junkyard Dog was helping Lou. He's got a 79 Trans Am. He was going to revive this car after many years of indoor storage.
Okay.
And it came time for carburetor work. So Junkyard Dog knew, he was a mechanic. He knew some stuff, but he was talking to Joe about it. And Joe says, oh, call my buddy Ray. Ray does carburetors. So we met over the summer. I took the carburetor. I rebuilt it. Right. And now Lou got back to me and was saying, he's having the same issue. He's on acceleration. He's got a flat spot.
Okay.
And I said, Lou, I just had an issue with an accelerator pump this week. I said, so he went to Mike's Carburetor, place online, which I've been trying to get him on the show because you could buy just a pump from that guy, and he did. So I'll be getting back. So in 1 week, 3 carburetors, 2 accelerator pump failures, and I haven't fixed the quadrajet yet. I'm waiting for Lou to get the part, and then we'll arrange it. So what I got to say is, and I was talking to the guys about this yesterday at the Cars and Coffee, because I showed them this pump. I said, I firmly believe you buy a carburetor kit from a parts store, reputable parts store. That kit could be on the shelf at this point now for 20 or more years.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to throw this stuff in a dumpster because it wasn't made when ethanol gas was being used.
Right. It doesn't have a for sale by stamp on the side of it with a date. No.
But I will say this. I did get the kit for the AFB for the Corvette from Mike's Carburetors. and he builds the kits by hand. And he has a statement in it that says his components are ethanol compliant.
I saw that. That's what sold me on buying a kit from him as well.
Right. So I feel confident buying his stuff. Now, so like I said, you just never know what you're going to get at the auto parts store. You're getting something new, old. I remember what I told the story when I had my Challenger. This is going back in the early 90s. It had the Carter, the BDL 2-barrel on it. I could never get a BDL to run right on that car. And I went through like 3 of them. I just could never get it to run the way I liked it. So I put a 4-barrel on the car. But that car needed a fuel pump, of course, because it was bad. I go to my local store. I said, look, I need a fuel pump for a 318. Oh, they bring the box out. Dust.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put it in the car, and it worked for like 3 months.
And then when it was the rubber diaphragm.
The box was dated 1977. The car was a 71, so it had been on the shelf, for 40 years. Like, okay, give me another one. Actually, Pirate Paul came to the rescue because at the time his dad always had Chryslers and Sebrings and 318s. He had one in the garage. They had a spare pump. So he gave it to me, and his lasted a lot longer. I guess it was maybe a newer build. So again, you don't know how old this stuff is when you buy it for an older car.
I was laughing because something very similar happened to me this week. I purchased some touch-up paint in a spray can for the Tracker. The Tracker had a surface rust issue on the door, on the top of the driver's rear door. For some reason, the paint disappeared and it started to rust up there. So I was able to sand it, and I primed it, and I went and ordered the paint for it. So I ordered basically the factory touch-up paint in a regular size spray can.
Right.
So when I got it, I took a look at the label, and the label was dated 2006.
Wow.
And I'm thinking to myself, this can is almost 20 years old. This aerosol can.
This can can't.
Right. This can may not.
Right.
So it was a little apprehensive about spraying it, but I masked up the door and, did a little shot into the air, pss, 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 and it was working okay. Yeah. And I started going back and forth like I usually do, and I shot the door, and it came out really, really nice.
We were just talking about this before the show, about bringing your aerosols in from the garage into the house.
Yes.
I got to tell you, I have a couple different brands of paints that I use, and I know
just go into it. We have to bring in the aerosols from the garage because they're out in the weather, and if the temperature drops below 32 degrees, if it gets really, really cold, those aerosols are going to be useless by the time the weather gets warmer. So we bring them in.
I have had them last for a number of years, but I found they go flatter outside than when you're inside.
Yeah.
So I bring them in. I put them in a little bin.
Bring them in too.
I've noticed now there's 3 different types of paints I use. I have VHT is one. Right. I have some, I have a metallic paint that I use for different things. There's some, I'm trying to think of the brand that paint, Krylon, and there's some others. And I noticed that when, you don't use those paints all the time, but every single one has a different feel to it when you agitate it and shake it. Some feel heavier and thicker inside.
Really?
Oh yeah, and others feel like they're lighter inside. I always take the can, turn it upside down, and swirl, let the ball swirl in there, and then some
to the bottom as well, because
some of them feel much thicker. I could feel it when you shake the can. It just feels thicker than some others, and maybe that's a better paint. Maybe it's a thicker consistency paint. They all spray nice. I just took one of the Malba trophy that I had gotten in 2021. Bill had given me a trophy for best engineered car for the GTO.
Nice.
And it's a nice wood base, and it has a Billy Quinton built that I found out, which is nice in itself. He took a piston and a rod and mounted it on this wooden base, and they put a clock in the big end of the rod, and there's your trophy. But I'm looking, I said, yeah, it's all black. And I said, you know what? This gold paint, I got it for a project for my daughter, and I've just been trying to use it on other things. So I think that piston needs to be gold, because now the car is painted, it's gold. So I took it outside, I took it apart, and I was trying to decide, do I do the piston and the rod, or do I do the rod and leave the piston black? So I ended up taping off the rod in black and doing the dome, the piston part, in gold. But it came out really cool, because the way I hit it with the paint, the ring lands on the piston and the groove. I didn't go fully like 360. I kind of went from the top and the side. So that part stayed like a little bit of a black shadow. So I got like a dual effect on it. I'll put a picture up. It came out great. But I sent the picture to Billy. I said, listen, is it sacrilege to alter a Malba award? And he gave me his blessing. He says, no, give you my blessing. He says,
good. The Pope gave you the blessing.
Because I put it on the hood of the car so you can see the color. He goes, nope, I give you my blessing. That's good.
This is what Ray does in his spare time, people.
And I'll tell you the God's honest
I don't have time to feed the cat.
You're right. I was in the garage working on some things, probably working on one of the carburetors. And it got to the point in the afternoon where I said, all right, you know what? I'm kind of done for the day. You know, it's too early to go in. We still had sunlight, thank God. And I said, you know what? I always wanted to play with this trophy. So I just went and grabbed it, and, you know, that was my little side project at the end of the day.
I'm lucky if I just got a trophy for the Chrysler this year from our local car club. I don't even know where it is.
It's in the back seat where
the wife took it. That was it. She took it. I think it's like a doorstop now.
Right.
I don't know.
No, I don't. New trophies aren't that heavy. The old trophies were doorstop. These the plastic ones, yeah, they're not doorstop. Unless you stick it in long ways so the door hits it.
That's why it's probably got a rock tied to it.
So as the car season ended up there, we're still going strong down here. There's still shows. We did the Cars and Coffee yesterday. There's still stuff going on here.
Yeah, there's a scattering here and there. I think we had a local show back on the 24th of October. But yeah, there's still the Saturday afternoon, evening warriors are still getting together.
Have you ever gone to a show in Darien, Cars and Coffee, wherever the heck it is? I get emails on the MotorMouth radio account from this place all the time. I've sent them to the junk folder. I've unsubscribed. I've blocked them. I still get the email from this Darien Coffee. I'm not coming, guys.
They love you.
I think they're talking to you. I don't know, because I'm not in Connecticut.
Last time I was in Darien was Marcus Dairy, and that was back in the late 80s. Right. I would go there with the Electra.
Marcus Dairy is Danbury.
Yeah, Danbury.
So is that Darien? I don't know what we.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said Darien.
Darien
No, I have not done a show.
I don't think I've ever been to Darien. I don't.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of when you're on 95, you'll pass Greenwich, and then Stamford. Darien is in there.
I don't think I've ever been there, but they latched on to me for some reason. This going.
I'm sorry. I thought you said Danbury. I'm like, wait a minute.
There I've been a lot,
yeah.
So I can see, but no, and I tell them, I like I say, it's not really spam. They're advertising their event, but I'm like, no, guys, I'm not. You get no, and they keep. I got one yesterday. Like, no, I'm going to Lindenhurst. I'm not going to Connecticut.
Oh, it's probably around the same distance at the same time. Yeah, right. Same time to get from one and get to the other.
Yeah.
From where you are. No, that's not. I don't know what's down low. Greenwich is, I mean, obviously the lower Fairfield County section of the state has very affluent vehicles. And there's our Pebble Beach.
Right.
Which is the Greenwich Concours, which is what I'm planning on. It's one of my bucket list things, because that's a type of crowd I'm interested in hanging around with.
Yeah.
I want to see those guys. I want to see the guys with the tweed hats and the tweed jackets with the patches on the elbows. You know, I want to see the smoking pipes.
Yeah, me too, because I want to dump the clutch and spit gravel all over. Hey, guys. Like,
I want to see the rolling sculpture crowd.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Cars that just idle and you can't hear them.
I know. I tell you, or you hear just like. To see those cars is something to be seen. I will give you that. That is kind of an interesting thing, you know, because those cars have provenance. They have a definitely.
Oh, sure.
They're historic, and they definitely have a spot in the world. But yeah, I don't know if I could take a whole day of them though. I don't know. A lot of tweed for one day.
A lot of tweed.
A lot of elbow patches and, and wine glasses.
A lot of pipes. A lot of knockers of pipes. They're knock those pipes. Duck, get all the debris out of them.
Even say, hey, I might even trade the cigar, a stogie, for a pipe. I could maybe do that. I want a Sherlock Holmes pipe, though, I think.
Yeah, blows bubbles.
I have to get something a little different. I don't know. I need be kind of cool.
So yeah, that's my goal for next year, automotively. Out of the many other goals I have, that's one of them.
I was as we were Cliff and Rick and I and Kevin, we were walking to, and Mike, we were walking to the deli yesterday to get some coffee, and I said, it's cool. It's cooled off again. We're getting it's breezy. I said, I'm sure I'm going to get a call for a car inspection any day because they start coming in like when it's cold out or when it's going to rain or when it's like 110 degrees. Wow. You got to go climbing around these guys. I said, I'm sure any day I'm going to get. He goes, have you had one? I said, no, not since the Corvette, the 77. I said, but they do come in the cold weather.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but then it's usually the outside guy. It's not this guy with a shop and a lift. It's, it's a guy that says house on a driveway. I'm like, yeah, well.
Yeah. Pity the poor car inspector.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
My heart is bleeding for you right now.
I know. Well, we'll see.
Well, that's cool. It's nice that you can actually take a look at someone else's vehicle and almost review it on your, you're reviewing it, yes, but then you can come back and report on the show, which I think is pretty darn cool, if you ask me. I think it's a nice wealth of information that we haven't had up until now. So it's nice that you can report back and talk about like, what are the soft spots of some of these older cars? And I've been getting into survivor cars and forever cars, things like that. And I think that carbureted vehicles, I don't think should go away.
Well, I got to tell you, I have tentative plans with Bob Jones from the Olds Club of going to the McCacken show, the muscle car and Corvette. I have media passes waiting. I just got to.
Nice.
We don't have a hotel or anything yet, so I want to go right to the Survivor and Barn Find section. That's what I want to see. So hopefully I'll have some stories then. But for now, we've burned another hour.
We did. And I was having such a good time too.
Yep, we're going to clear out because Kim is coming in to do Thunder Road. That's the Springsteen in the band. She's got that big box set over here. I know she's going to be hitting it hard. So you want to stay tuned for that. So what do I tell the people who are invariably waiting for me looking at my painted wheels on the Mazda saying, yeah, you need to touch those up, buddy, in the parking lot? What do I say to them?
Don't follow us home unless you have a pretty good accelerator pump. We need those.
Yes, an ethanol compliant accelerator pump with some good epoxy paint. So.
Right, good epoxy paint too.
All right, Chris Switzer, Ray Guarino signing out. MotorMouth Radio. We'll be back next week with more fun and frolic. Keep it where you got it for Kim, and we will see you next week on 90.3 WHPC.
See you, bye!